4Networking. Smile, meet and chat, join 4Networking.
Hello there, welcome along. This is 4Networking TV. It's great to have your company. It's fantastic to have you with us as well. And boy, what an exciting day this is. With me today, I've got Brad Burton. Brad, great to have you with us.
Awesome. How are we doing, Steve?
Great to have you with us.
Awesome,
and this is a very
Steve.
exciting time. 4Networking TV, 4N TV, the actual launch. But the thing that's interesting about this, of course, Brad, is the fact that we're coming up to a big birthday.
That's right.
And what a great way to celebrate a birthday by getting out there to all the people that are part of the 4Networking community.
Right. You know what? We've been 9 years now, Steve. 9 years with 4Networking, and this was going to be for us something new for us, something new for the members. And it's 9 years of it's been difficult at times, but we're here, and I think what 4Networking represents is this whole piece about what it's like to be run a business, a small business. You know, 4Networking, we started in a box room 9 years ago, one group, and people said, oh, it'd never work. It's the wrong time to start a business off in that manner. It's a crowded, congested space. Look at 9 years on, we've got 5,000 groups across the UK, and it's amazing. And to be doing 4Networking TV from this amazing studio is just so exciting for us.
Well, that's very nice of you to say so.
True.
Let's go back to the very beginning, the inspiration behind it, why you did it, and what you think businesses today are going to be getting out of it. Because let's face it, there are a lot of networking organisations out there. What makes 4Networking stand head and shoulders above those? We
know what we're doing with 4Networking. We have this national network now, which is run over 5,000 meetings across the UK each and every year. But as a 4Networking member, you can go to any of them. So there's no other national network that allows you the full length and breadth of the UK access to a network. And we also have a website there which links everyone together. And I think more importantly, what we have at 4Networking is the one-to-ones, the sort of 3 10-minute one-to-ones at every meeting. And effectively, these are appointments because regardless of what business you've got, you need appointments. You can be the best plumber ever, but if you've got no appointments, you're not going to be in business too long. And that's what we've done with 4Networking. We have these appointments. We have this unique format, which is very, if I'm honest, very British-based networking.
Well, I tell you what, we've got a little bit of a presentation here actually that's going to take you through just some of the reasons why you should be maybe contemplating joining up with the 4Networking group that's near you. Now, as Brad's already said, there are thousands of groups across the UK, and they're waiting to invite you in through their doors so that you can get the benefits of the groups as well. We'll kick off with, we've got a little bit of a presentation, relaxed, fun and friendly business networking. Already we've heard it's all about smiling, it's all about bringing a little bit of enjoyment to business, and I think that's really important these days. A lot of the networking groups sometimes, and we're not knocking them, they're right for some people, but this one here is so proactive with its members, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, what we've got with 4Networking is this whole fun element, because business networking needn't be hard work. One of the things is, if you think about, you've started your own business off, you've come away from employment to be self-employed and do things your own way, and that's what 4Networking allows. And the fun element, I went to networking events prior to 4Networking, and there was very formal, very stoic, I don't know, it's just the wrong sort of energy for what I wanted. And fundamentally, when I asked other people, regardless of business, they didn't want it either. So we've got this fun environment, which is genuinely fun, genuinely accessible, and genuinely really enjoyable for people, because, as I said, business networking needn't be hard work.
But it's not derogatory to what the whole purpose of it is. I think sometimes the worry is that when you combine the words fun and smile and business, they don't seem to all go together. And in fact, that isn't the case here, is it? It's about making business a little bit more enjoyable, but making it more social.
Well, when we started 4Networking off, I came up with a concept which was 50% social, 50% business, and it works. And it does, because fundamentally, Steve, if I don't like you and you don't like me, we wouldn't be sat here today. No. So there's an element of likability about the relationship that we've got. And as such as that relationship, we now have an element of business where we're doing business together. Same principle with 4Networking. So this is what we try to do. We try to get through those social barriers. Do I like somebody first and foremost? If you do, then yes, you can move on to business. And that's what 4Networking allows you to do with ease.
Now, of course, the big worry that anybody's going to have, that if you've heard about 4Networking, is there going to be a meeting nearby to you? Well, there are 5,000 individual meetings a year, and everybody is welcome. You really can visit any group. That's what it says on the side. It actually does do what it says on the box. And that's what's interesting about this. You've got an opportunity, no matter where you are in the UK, to go along and enjoy one of these meetings. They are very relaxed. I've been to a few of the meetings where we're based here in Surrey, and there are a couple of the 4Networking groups nearby.
Absolutely.
And of course, we are members of 4Networking.
Yes, right.
So we go along. And I don't want this to sound like that I think the expression is about blowing smoke.
Right.
But there is a real difference. I've been to breakfast meetings.
Sure.
I've been to networking events.
Course.
And I think with some of these networking organisations, you can have the feeling that you're getting no benefit from it.
Steve, you've got this whole interesting thing with networking in that fundamentally networking works for any person. Later on we've got a guest which will be able to explain how they've got it working. But networking does work for any person as long as they approach it correctly. What we've got with 4Networking is these appointments, and when you do the 40 seconds, you have a 40-second overview at each meeting, which allows you to stand up and say, hi, I'm Brad, I'm a marketing genius, what I do is this, this and this, and people go, actually, I'd really like to speak to Brad. I need somebody who can help me with marketing. And it allows you to then sit down and have the 10 minutes and establish, first and foremost, one, do I like them? And two, have they got an appropriate service? It just works. It just works. It's the simplicity of it is the brilliance of it. Mm-hmm. But when we started 4Networking off, we was the laughing stock. You know, when we come through, people said it'll never work. Genuinely, I had that people laughing in my face and said it'll never work. And that just drove me. And this is what's right at the heart of 4Networking, this whole willingness to make a positive difference in the UK. And that's what we've done for the last 9 years and hopefully for the next 9 years.
Well, let's just take our way through a typical event, a typical networking scenario. I mean, relaxed yet productive. We look here. The first half hour, gentle start, chat, mingle over drink. Right. And when we say a drink, we actually mean a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. We don't mean a bottle of vodka, do we?
Well, we do actually have, no, not anymore. No, we do actually have lunchtimes and evening 4Networking meetings, and we don't really have a sort of, we've sort of banned alcohol from those things because people, when they get drunk, start falling over. But so no, it is generally soft drinks and tea and coffee.
What about this piece here? I always say that, and this is a bit of business advice for you as well, I always say it's worth having a business CV in your mind's eye. Also, to have something about yourself as well in your mind's eye. A minute. Rehearse it in front of the bathroom mirror. Stand there.
That's right.
How would you do a pitch to your business in a minute? How would you describe it? Well, actually, yes, interestingly, okay, you've got 60 seconds. The team will be timing you. If you had to sum up one of these events, or 4Networking in general, starting now.
Your business needs appointments, and you know, one of the most difficult things about running a business is appointments, getting people you can talk to. That's what 4Networking allows. It allows you this entire UK framework where you can work it around your schedule. Think of it in some respects like a workplace for self-employed people. So I can guarantee you right now there is more people at a 4Networking meeting right near you that are interested in your products or services than there is in your front room or upstairs in your box room, pressing F5, send and receive, waiting for emails. Do find your nearest 4Networking group. It'll work for you.
Do you know what? And it's really worth, to the second, in fact, and it's really worth having something like that about your business in your mind's eye all the time. That is a great networking and even a great marketing tool as well. Have one of those for your business. Also, we always recommend that you have one of those for yourself as well, a personal one that tells a little bit about, you know, where you are, your relationships, your children, so you can share and you're not stumbling your way through when it comes to presenting something. Okay, so we've got our first half hour. After that, then we introduce ourselves to the rest of the group. Now, while the meal is served and eaten, it's time for each person's 40-second pitch. No need to be nervous, it says here. The group is friendly and supportive. You know, they do say that when it comes to actually presenting, most people would rather die than give a public presentation.
Steve, when I first started 4Networking, I was the same. I was shaking like a leaf, nervous. I remember I read online about what you should do is have your notes on card so that people can't see you shaking. No notes today. But that's a lovely little byproduct of 4Networking. Having done this for 9 years, my ability to present and even be in front of a camera like this is as a direct result of the 40 seconds that I've done throughout the last 9 years. Just an amazing byproduct, but understand this, that every single person that comes to 4Networking once was the new person. Every single person was nervous, includes me, but the more you do it, the better you become. So don't tell yourself the story that, oh, everyone else is going to be great at speaking, because everyone started, including me, shaking like a leaf and nervous. But, you know, the network is geared up for you, so please do come along and do check it out. All
right, let's go through the rest of the meeting right now then. So what do you do after you've done your initial 45 seconds? Well, followed by 4 site slots, a 15-minute-ish insight, not a sales pitch, but a great way for members to raise their profile. Now, this to me, I think, is the most unique thing about going to a 4Networking event. It is that 15 minutes to just discuss what my business can do for you and what your business can do for
Absolutely.
me.
You know, the foresight, look, I've been to networking events, and the reason we did the insight, not a sales pitch, is I've sat through sales pitches at networking events. Horrible. And I remember going to one and the guy was banging on for 10 or 15, 20 minutes because he'd paid to be there, talking about double glazing and UPVC windows, and everyone was just bored. It was horrible. And everyone knew he was bored, but then at the end of it, you've got to ask a question. So tell me about UPV. Nobody's interested. So what we've done, we've made it a whole lot more jovial, a whole lot more educational piece, and it allows any member to go to any 4Networking group and book it, you pre-book it, and do the foresight slot, which is an insight, not a sales pitch, into a specialist field. Massive value.
And it's this misunderstanding, I think, when it comes to networking events. A networking event, if you were going there to sell, would be called a sell-working event. And it's not. It is about networking. It may not be you that will purchase a product from me, but you may recommend me to somebody else.
Really interesting point you make there. If I was to ask people in a networking event who here has come to buy, can I have a show of hands? Not a single hand would go up, right? But that's the thing. But what happens is I've spoken to lots and lots of people who do actually sell products at networking events and 4Networking events. So what you've got to do with 4Networking is this: create the conditions where people buy instead of you selling. Right? Create the conditions where people buy instead of you selling. This is what we do at 4Networking. It takes a little bit of time, but it works. It works. It works.
I mean, there's no two ways about it. Networking across the UK is a very successful way of growing business, but don't be going there thinking you're selling. You're actually growing your contacts.
Yep.
And most business these days actually comes from recommendation. And that's the thing to remember. You think about your current mailing list right now. How many of your current clients did you get from a cold call? How many of your current clients did you get from a mail out? You'll probably find that many, probably the majority of your customers, your clients at the moment, are there because of personal recommendation.
Steve, great point again. You know, when you're at one of these networking events, I've been to a 4Networking event and somebody says, it's not for me. And I say, why is that? Well, I need solicitors and there's none in the room. I've heard there's a networking event with solicitors down the road. If I was to say, stop for a second, can I have a show of hands? Who in the room knows a solicitor? Every hand would go up. So it's not just the person you're talking to, it's all the people they know. And the way that you explore how people, who everyone knows, is by building up relationships. So fundamentally, just because you're after solicitors, if you turn up to a room and you don't know anybody, you know, they're not going to go say, here's the ideal solicitor. So I always ask people this: would your approach work on you? It's a really good question. Would your approach work on you? Because if your approach wouldn't work on you, you need to change it.
You know, I think it's the most serious I've ever seen you, actually.
Sorry, Steve.
And because, you know, let's face it, business is serious. Let's just look then at the final section of what happens at a typical meeting. The final half hour, the most important bit, 3 10-minute one-to-one appointments with people you've chosen earlier by swapping numbered business cards. It's a very, very powerful way to actually, you know, get to meet people, isn't it?
The reason I came up with this concept, and it happened actually meeting 2 of 4Networking. We didn't have this meeting 1. But the reason I came up with this concept was because when I had my own marketing business before 4Networking, I used to spend 6 weeks ringing people up, trying to get appointments there, sending direct mails and the likes. And eventually you'd get a meeting and you'd say, oh, okay, yeah, Brad, come in and see me. So I'd drive for 2 hours to your office, all the costs associated with that, then pay £8 to park, then come to have a meeting with you for an hour. And then 2 minutes in of that hour meeting, you recognise something, Steve, that you don't like me and I don't like you. And we've got 58 minutes of nonsense to go. And that was the old way of doing it. And eventually you'll have a meeting and it'll just gel. Well, that's what we've done at 4Networking. So you go to any meeting, they start at 8 till 10 every single day around the UK. And you go to these meetings, you have 3 10-minute appointments. And as I said, it's established whether I like you and you like me. Now, what's really interesting about this whole 4Networking thing is I was over at Leeds last week, and within a half an hour drive from Leeds Central, there's 23, I think it was, 4Networking events that as a member you could go to. So you work it around your schedule. So you don't, archetypally networking events, you've got to go to the same one. Don't have to do that with 4Networking. You go there because you want to. And that's one of the reasons that people are more jovial and fun, because people are there because they want to be there, not because they have to be there. It's a fundamentally different way of doing things. And as you can see, I'm so excited about it. But 9 years on, I'm ecstatic that we're still here. And 9 years on, I'm ecstatic that all those members have stuck with us. It's amazing.
And it is amazing. And what we don't want to do, we don't want you to be watching 4Networking TV and thinking to yourself, Well, it's just nothing more than a sales pitch for 4Networking TV. It isn't that. What we wanted to do on this very first programme was, if you're brand new to the brand, if you've never heard of 4Networking before, to give you the opportunity to actually discover a little bit about what 4Network is all about. In fact, we've overrun by 5 minutes on this first segment. So what I'm going to do is, Brad, we're just going to look at this. Here's how the membership can benefit you as a business. And Brad, if you can, just talk us through the key things that we need to remember, because in just a few moments' time, we've got a very exciting announcement about 4Networking. So Brad, take it away.
So at 4Networking, you've got all these benefits there. You've got sales, you've got the choice to go to any meeting, you've got the appointments. Appointments are so useful. Suppliers, social, online, it's the entire suite. It's the entire suite of everything that any small business needs, because when you come out of employment, as I did, it's a lonely place. It's a lonely, lonely place working for yourself, and that's what we needed. So the benefits are there for everyone to read and see. It just works. You know, you can go and check out a 4Networking meeting for just £12 at any of these sites. You can visit 3 times. Give it a look. Give it a look.
It is fantastic. And the nice thing about it is you've got people in there that have got skills. You've got some wonderful names.
Absolutely.
You've got some wonderful people.
That's right.
You turn up at some of the meetings.
Absolutely.
You give your motivational speech.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, a slim motivational speech.
We're getting there, Steve.
You'd trust one of those, wouldn't you?
That's right.
But you've got other people as well within the organisation. Stephen Thomas,
Amazing.
who's written the Dummies book
That's
on
right. Like,
how to network.
absolutely.
Got people like Debbie Huxton. I mean, amazingly, a couple of weeks back on Business Connections Live, our other programme,
Sister show,
we had Josh on and Josh Pierce, and he came on. Now, he's mentored by Debbie Huxton.
That's right.
All through the 4Networking organisation. Right. And because of the way he knows how to market himself, over 10,000 views. It is quite
what he's done, once again, is leverage the network. So whether it's like Facebook likes you're after, whether it's views on your YouTube, whether it's a reputation, however you want to do it. But Josh, lovely lad, 21 years old, 21-year-old 4Networking member. Just think about that, 21-year-old. And then you've got someone like me, 42, and yourself there, Steve, at 90. Sorry.
Cheeky so-and-so. You're watching 4Networking TV. This is the first programme. You're going to see a programme once a month. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take the highlights, and still to come on today's programme, a very exciting announcement concerning 4Networking and the team that run it. So that's coming up in just a few moments' time. And also we're going to be talking to a 4Networking member and find out how 4Networking has benefited his business. That's all to come right here on 4Networking TV today. Now, we are trying to cram as much as we are. Our target time is half an hour. It may be slightly longer because it is the first one, but not very much longer. So if you're watching over your lunch break, it's great to have you with us. Now, if you want to see just what a typical 4Networking event is actually like, then all you've got to do is look through your diary, look through online at the different websites that 4Networking have. That'll tell you where your local team are meeting up. But if you want to give a real example of what it's like, have a look at this.
Welcome to 4Networking. You're 60 seconds away from joining a business network that's like none other. With over 5,000 events running every year, you can network every weekday or online completely free 24/7. When you attend, which groups you go to, who you work with, like everything 4Networking, the choice is yours. Our events are fun, relaxed and friendly. At each meeting, not only do you get to tell everyone in the room about your business, you also get 3 one-to-one appointments with the people you choose. Whether you want to network at breakfast, lunchtime or evening, there's sure to be one nearby to fit in with you and your busy schedule. Just search online or download our free app for iPhone and Android to find one local to you. All this is backed up by a dynamic website where you can give your Google rankings a boost with a free online profile today. And join in with the discussions happening right now on the community forum with a network of over 50,000 online members. Sign up for a free account and book your first meeting today. 4Networking. Anywhere, anytime.
Smile, be chat, join 4Networking.
Brad.
Yes.
Sitting next to you is a young man.
Don't show him yet.
Don't show him
Don't
yet.
show him yet.
Don't show him yet. Is he going to be one of the dragons? That's the big question.
You know, we've got a new director joining us today. So 9 years on to the day, we've got a new director joining us. We've needed a new director for some time, and people have been saying, is this one of the dragons out of Dragon's Den? Because that was the sort of gossip and the rumour, and the answer to that question is no.
It's not.
However...
But it's somebody better.
We think so. We think so. Steve, do you want to do the big reveal?
No, I'm going to let you do it, because that's what you do. Straight down the camera lens.
Boys and girls, the new Director of Strategy and Operations at 4Networking is Mr. Jason Dutton.
Hello.
There we are, Jason. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Just sit yourself down, comfortable in the chair. You're just a bit.
There you go.
That's it. You got. That's it. Just down. That's it.
How's
Just
that?
take it nice. Jason, it's great to have you with us.
Great to be
Now, I met you a little while back. I think I met you at the Wolverhampton Networking Show when we were up there.
Correct.
So that was last year. So here you are. You're now officially on the board of 4Networking.
I am indeed.
All right, I'm going to be the investigative journalist now.
Okay.
What do you bring to 4Networking? Why is this such an important move forward for the business?
I think 4N's a great business, and Brad's achieved, along with the team, an enormous amount of work in that 9 years of its history. I think what we need to do is remember that 4N, it's bigger than Brad and all the energy and the excitement that Brad brings. It's bigger than Terry Cooper, our chairman, Steph Thomas, our network director, and even the great staff we've got at HQ. 4N is about its members, and I think we need to get better at putting the members at the absolute centre of everything that we do.
So how are you going to do that? What are the ideas that you're going to be bringing forward then?
We've got lots
See,
of...
Brad's even interested.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Brad's,
So how
Brad's
are you
kind of
going to do
pepped up,
this?
yeah,
But
put me on the spot.
let me just move it backwards a little bit. Let's find out who Jay is. Because, you know, this is not just some bloke who's my stunt double. This is a guy who's got a lot of heritage, not only with business, but also in my life.
All right. So where did you two meet then?
This is 25, 26 years
1989.
ago. Yeah, 89. We met in a video game shop in Manchester.
Now it just so happens that I think we've actually got a picture of
Oh,
that.
good God.
That
Really?
video game shop, haven't we? So you were both 19 years old.
Yeah.
I would imagine you didn't look anything like the.
Oh!
Yeah.
No.
I had hair. That's not Jay, by the way.
Yeah.
So I take it that's you at the back there, Brad.
That's right. It was.
And that
Yeah.
isn't me at the front.
No, it's not. No,
Let's just.
That's
be
one of
clear.
the bros that I think.
When will I be famous?
That's it, yeah.
Let's just have a look inside of the shop as well. So this is it,
That's the exact shop. That's the exact shop.
Is the shop. Yeah.
and that's where the pair of you met.
Correct.
And were you a big gamer? Were you?
What I was a big gamer, still am, and I used to work for a video games company. My background is predominantly video games, entertainment, and journalism. And at the time, I was very early on in my video game career, and I was working for a video games company based in Manchester. And I happened at the time to be, had access, let's say, to a variety of video games, but not an access to a large stream of money. So in the event the new game came out, I was very fortunate.
You'd review it.
Indeed, and we'd get given
Promotional
what we
copies.
call promotional copies or staff copies of a game, and I would then kind of run down the high street to the local game shop, which is where I met Brad, and I would basically concoct some unbelievable story about I'd been bought 2 copies of this game, one myself, one by my girlfriend. I'd accidentally lost the receipt. Would it be okay to swap it for the game I actually did want? The first time I did that, Brad said, okay, on this occasion that's fine. I think the second time he just started to laugh at me, and I think we just kind of had this connection. We just kind of got on, and then we started to kind of be friends and hang out and go out nightclubs,
Sure.
getting involved.
Quick, we'll move on. But I think what's interesting about my life and also Jay's path is that my history is quite different to Jay's. Jay's gone the corporate route. And I think I went the party route, really, when I was a young man. But Jay went the corporate route and actually worked at many companies, such as Hasbro was probably one of the biggest.
Yeah, I worked
household
at
names.
Hasbro was at the time was about a $4 or $5 billion toy company, and they were desperate to get into the video games industry. They made some acquisitions, and they wanted to try and transition away from some of their existing toy brands that are more popular, like Furby, Barney, etc. But they also wanted some space in the interactive industry, so I got involved in that, and I helped them on their marketing and communications.
So more recently, Jay, your previous business, what was that, and what did you build it from to?
We started out as it's about 12 years I was working for basically running the international arm of an American video games company. We started with literally day one turnover of 0, and then we took it to just over £20 million, where we were taking our products direct to a variety of different international markets.
And you was the head of European for that
I was the managing director and vice president of the international business, which was basically all territories outside of North America and Canada.
But that's a big change, though, isn't it? It's a big change. I mean, going from the big corporate high life to running what? So I mean, that's got to be why. Why have you gone from that to 4Networking? Not the 4Networking.
Oh, stop that, Steve.
4Ns, it's many things, but first and foremost, it's a great opportunity. But I think more than that, it's the opportunity. I've spent a huge proportion of my career basically working for American shareholders, and my value, or the value of what we do, was basically summarised by a number on a spreadsheet. There was no direct connectivity between the people who were at the heart of the business that I worked for, and that's why I think 4N's different, is that it gives me the chance to connect, to really kind of understand what the membership need, and that's what we're trying to now create.
When you came to your first 4Networking, it was over in Blackpool. James came along to his first 4Networking, and the truth, as I said earlier, he was nervous. Terrified. He was shaking like a leaf.
Terrified.
And this is the point that he made to me. He said, look, you've got to understand that actually somebody turning up there for the first time is scared to death.
Yeah, it's true. It's everyone's experience. In some ways, you overplay your own experience because you take that as being the norm. I've got experience, very eclectic experience across a variety of different fields. I ride motorbikes, I do martial arts. But if I was to put somebody that hadn't experienced that into the same room as me, I would just assume they have the same fundamental skill set and technique. And I remember I didn't sleep the night before. I was playing my 40 seconds over and over in my head. What if I mistake it? And I think sometimes that's what we lose sight of, is we're there as a support mechanism for businesses of a varying degrees of size, personality, skill and experience. And what we have to do is get better in making business networking easier, which is what we're trying to do.
Do you think you sometimes have the problem, the perception of maybe Brad, in as much as Brad, to a certain extent, you've become the motivational speaker, you stand up there, you're the figurehead of the organisation, and sometimes people lose sight of what 4Networking is about. It isn't just a vehicle for Brad, it is a vehicle for them.
Correct.
And does that sometimes get lost, do you think, in the fluff of the personality?
Stop that.
I think what you have to look at is, obviously I've known Brad for a long time. Brad is...
Before I was the Brad Burton, that's right.
Brad is as brilliant as he is chaotic. He is a hotbed of ideas, of intent, and sometimes it's like, imagine a Richard Branson. Richard, he kind of wears his funny jumpers and he's out there he's a spokesperson and he's the driver, but don't for 1 second assume that Richard isn't smart, analytical, dedicated, determined, and has a great team of people underneath him that actually provide the right service and product for the people, their customers, that they're trying to sell to. That's what we're trying to do with 4N now, is give the membership more.
One of the things that Jay really isolated from the outset again was he looked at the website. He looked at the website and he said, it's too chaotic. Once again, there's no clarity to this. And it was for me to have to go, okay, he's right there, because what we've done with the website, we've built it upon like Lego bricks, and somewhere along the way, we forgot why we was doing it. So everything that he's done with Jay, everything that Jay's done has been about really paring stuff down and then rebuilding it up in a correct manner, which is what your focus is right now.
Absolutely. It's about understanding what the business community needs from 4Networking, what type of support we provide to them both online and offline, how we can actually give them more for their membership. It's not just about saying, hey guys, come to a meeting when it suits you. But business networking, like running a business, isn't like a trip to the dentist. Right. It isn't something that you do once every 6 months just because you feel like you should. It's about a continuation of evolution and evolving your business.
Oh, I love that.
And that's what 4N is, what it should be.
No, the other bit, the bit about the trip to the dentist.
It's true.
Because it makes sense. Because you go there actually, because you've got pain, as opposed to going there to ensure that you don't get pain, right?
We're not an emergency service. Right. We're not like the AA that you join the membership and only hope to use them once when you're in real dire straits. If you want to get the best out of 4Networking, it has to be a continuous cycle of attendance, understanding, development, evolution and improvement.
And that's what you see as well on the website now as well. The website, I don't know whether you've had the influence in it, but the website now is about problem solving. Can we just have a quick look at the website, as you can here at the moment?
So all people need to do is to go to the online bit there, you go at the top, go and register for there you go and register your details. Okay, there you go, start there, click go and register your details, put yourself in there, and then click on this our online community, Steve. So that's it, there we go, click that.
Actually click on it.
Yeah, and then if you look there, the say hello section, that's what people need to go on. Say hello, go and introduce themselves to other people. And if you just scroll down to the bottom there, keep going, you'll see that as many people are on at the moment.
I noticed this the other night, actually. I went online and I was looking at the site and I thought to myself, how many sites do you come across that actually have a facility like that? And if you just look there, it says there are currently 1,144 lurkers on the site. I love that expression.
You know those people, Steve, they're the people that don't log in. They don't log in, they just look at the information and actually don't log in. Log in, register for free, and you get all the benefits that are associated with that free membership.
And then we've got our 56 members on the site there, and the new members that have joined up today. Now, any business would be very pleased with this. There are 19 new members. And the other thing that's good about it, the post count, we've got 51 posts. Now, these aren't like your normal posts that you get, are they? They're not posts where people just come along and go, oh, yes,
not really.
Can you tell me if they can? You've got some like that.
Absolutely, of course. But that's that social stuff once again. But the great thing about what we've got with 4Networking is we've got over 50,000 registrations. We've got 50,000 registered UK businesses. Just nuts. And that grows to the tune of 60 to 100 a day. It's mental, absolutely mental. When I say 50,000, it's probably more like 90,000 last time we checked. It's just growing bigger and bigger every single day.
It is a remarkable website. If you want to find out more details, some of the personalities, in fact, this gentleman here, Richard Eaton.
We should have him on as a guest.
We should have him on as a guest, quite frankly, shouldn't we? We should have that lady on as well, Debbie.
Debbie,
we should have her on as a guest. I tell you what I did notice when I was going through it as well, Brad, and I love this, is all the photographs are lovely photos. Look, there's Steve the barman. See, we know these people. We've met them.
But these are 4Networking personalities, the likes of which people who've actually come from around the UK and just started like any other member and got themselves a national reputation as a result of 4Networking. It's not like, you know, the directors that we've got from 4Networking, Steph Thomas, who's the networking director, and also Terry Cooper, who's the chairman, both of these guys were members. They just came along like any other 4Networking person and just joined. And as such, they're now directors of 4Networking. This is a complete UK-wide network of opportunity. Do check it out.
Now, don't forget, if you want to, you can go online and you can join up. There's a special offer online as well. And if you want any help, or if you want to join up on the phone, 0845 123 444, 4networking.biz, or 0845 123 4444. They're the telephone numbers that you need to give a call on if you want to get more information. Go to the website, check it out. If you're a lurker,
register.
If you're a lurker, then register. If you're not a lurker and you think to yourself, you know, I've been looking, I'm disappointed with the networking experience that I've had up until now. Well, here's an opportunity to maybe find something a bit different. What's
interesting about this whole 4Networking thing is we managed to connect people from around the UK with 4Networking, the website. And one of the next guests that was going to be here in a second is a guy called Richard Eaton. We're going to be seeing Richard. Richard, I met for the first time on the website. So we connected on the website, we've hit it off on the website, and as such, we're now friends in real life. That's just nuts. So do check out the website, 4networking.biz.
It really is worth doing. So don't miss out on that. Go along to 4networking.biz. It's as straightforward and as easy as that to find out more information about 4Networking, a fantastic organisation. Listen, before you walk out the door, because we've actually got our next guest along in just a moment, we are slightly overrunning at the moment. If you had to sum up in, shall we say, 3, 4, maybe 5 key points, what you are going to be bringing to 4Networking and where you see the organisation in 12 months' time, what do you reckon they'd be?
I think first and foremost it's about clarity. It's about simplification. It's about making sure that the product or service that we're offering our members and potential new members is the right thing for them, that it gives them the support and the solutions that they need, both online and offline. That's the priority for me, is making sure we're delivering what our members require. I think in terms of us as a business, it's about growth. It's about taking our business and the model that we've now created and accelerating that both further throughout the UK, but then obviously going into international markets, because how exciting is that? Not only have we connected an entire kind of UK industry of small business owners, but the opportunity to also create that and draw in people from all these international markets. It's hugely exciting. No, business now is both national and international, and what a great opportunity to do that all under the 4Networking umbrella.
Steve, he's not as thick as he looks, this lad.
He's definitely not as thick as he looks, is he? You know, it sounds absolutely truly exciting.
It is. It really
now you're
is.
going to leave us right now, and we've got our next guest coming on, who Brad is going to introduce and have a bit of a chat with.
Great.
Listen, it's been interesting talking to you.
Likewise, thank you.
The very, very best of luck when it comes to everything that you intend to do and the plan. Are we going to have the networking event this year as well?
Absolutely. The TBNS is happening this year again, and it's over in September, and we're going to be running the business networking show over in September at the same place as last time, the Wolverhampton Racecourse, and it's going to be even bigger and better with some amazing speakers.
Smile, be chat, join 4Networking.
Now, one of the people that was that we saw just a moment ago, we said we should have him on the programme.
Yeah, Richard Eaton.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do.
Yeah.
Let's beam him in right now because he's actually joined us. If only we could do that, that would have
Amazing.
been fantastic. There he is. From Appware, it's lovely to see you. Now, the last time we met, I think, was at the Business Networking show.
Yeah, it was.
And in fact, you're coming on the Business Connections live programme, I think next Wednesday, live.
Well, at least you know where the studio is, Richard.
I've done that.
Had a small problem. We are running a little bit over, but hey, it's the first show, and that's the way things go.
Yeah.
4Networking, what's it done for your business? How's it helped you? And why have you taken the time out to get so heavily involved with it?
Yeah, really, I came across 4Networking 4 years ago. Next week will be my 4th anniversary of 4N, all the 4s.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
And I first came across Brad by listening to one of his audiobooks. Looked him up online. I think our first communication was over Twitter. I tweeted him. He's tweeted me back and he said, well, why don't you come along to a meeting?
The Pied Piper of networking,
Yeah. Well, 176 tweets a day. He's going to be able to fit you in on one of them, isn't he?
Yeah, so I went along to a 4N, like most people, and just like Jay was saying, was absolutely scared to death. Didn't know what to expect. I'd never done any business networking at all. Really didn't know what to do. 40 seconds I was scared to death about.
Common theme there. Common theme, yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes it's difficult to remember what it's like. So when you're welcoming new visitors, then you've got to try and remember that sometimes.
So how many breakfasts have you been to, Richard? Roughly?
I have no idea. It does tell you on the website.
Does it? But I mean, for people that say, well, you're wasting your time going to these breakfasts. There's no business that's done there. It's too social. You're just having chit chats with people. What would you say to people?
All I've done is not rocket science. This networking lark. The first thing was just be helpful and nice to people, and just have chats. I've actively never tried to sell anything to anyone.
That's the point. Yeah. That's the point that I made earlier.
That's what people miss, isn't it, about networking? That is the key thing. Are people surprised sometimes when they come to the events that you organise? Are they surprised when they come for the first time exactly what happens?
No, because before they come along, then we try to tell them what to expect. So the last thing you want is turning up at an event and someone says, oh, now you've got to stand up in front of 30 odd people and tell them about your business, in which case they'll be heading for the door.
So why do you travel the UK with 4Networking? Because some people stick to their locale, they're based in Leeds, and they'll go to 2 or 3 meetings. You and I've got a national reputation right now, which is almost nuts. Does it make financial sense to be driving, like to this morning I believe you was at 4Networking Bristol, which is sort of 150 miles away. Does it make financial sense? How do you make it financial sense that it makes sense to drive around the UK going to 4Networking meetings?
As you say, using the forum, using just all the tools that 4N gives me. So, like I say, this morning I went to a meet I've never been to before, Bristol Cribs. There were 3 people there that I know from the online side of 4N that we already have that relationship with, and it's about cementing that. I drove down to South Wales yesterday, had a meeting. Every meeting I've got over the next 3 days, and that's 12 meetings, have all come from 4Networking.
So this business of yours, Appware, does mobile apps and the likes, but you also got new products, which is this restaurant product. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So to date, we've always built bespoke products like the 4Networking app, because again, that's something not to forget. I did a quick check outside. There's 55 4N meetings within a 30-mile radius of exactly where we're.
That's better than my 20 at Leeds. It just shows you. See, we lose sight of it. We sort of forget about that. 55 meetings within a half-hour journey from where are we? Sorry, that's nuts.
I know.
Sorry, go on. You're saying
and I know that because I looked at the app outside here. And it tells me where they are, when they're on, so it's a really good way of planning your meetings.
Restaurant app.
But yeah, so this morning I was at Bristol Cribs. Now we've got this restaurant app. I'm using 4N as the platform to launch to. So without fail, since Christmas time, when we've been talking about this, every single 4Networking meeting I've come away with at least 1 lead, because everybody knows someone who has a restaurant or a client.
But I think that's although that's spectacular, I think if somebody came in and it was day one, they wouldn't get that.
No,
I think what's happened is over the last 4 years, he's built up a head of steam. So people know him, people trust him, people like him. As I said, there needs to be an element of likability, and that's why it works. What would you say to someone, Richard, that says 4 networking doesn't work, genuinely, what would you say?
Yeah. I've done team roles before. I've run a group myself.
Are you still involved in the team now? I don't know. You're right, okay. Big company now, 5,000 meetings, sorry.
Yeah, I run one of your meetings. Right. Yeah. So we've had people that come along, join, to come 5 times on the 200-day passport. Like, oh, I'm not getting anything from it. I say, have you been to any other meetings? No, I just come here every 2 weeks. Have you done any foresights elsewhere? No. Well, you're not spreading that.
You know, one of the things I say when I'm speaking is, would you pass a lead, a referral, a job, a contact to someone you don't like, someone you don't know, someone you don't trust yet? Of course, people say, of course not. Well, on that basis, just think about it. The reason that people pass you leads, you referrals, you jobs in 4 networking capacity are people like you, they know you, they trust you. Don't expect others to forgo the same checks that you're doing. That's what you've sussed out.
Yeah, like I say, it's only in the last few months that I've been pushing this restaurant stuff,
right.
But it's because of 4 years of hard work before that, just getting to know people and raising my profile.
But in 4 networking, you only meet small companies. Brilliant. That's not on cue. We never prompted on it.
And it is all about the growth, and it's all about taking the opportunity. But it's like all things in life, it doesn't just come to you. If you go to one of these events and you sit back and you're not proactive,
right.
Well, you know, you do more of nothing, you will result with nothing.
Absolutely.
But, you know, become proactive at these different meetings, talk to people, be likeable, then you've got a real opportunity here.
When I was being facetious there when I was saying there's only small businesses, but you've had access to some amazing big companies as a result of people, maybe second, third, fourth generation of contacts that you've met with in 4 networking. Do you want to give us some names, drop some names?
Yeah, so over 50% of our business comes from 4 networking.
Right.
95% of that isn't with people in the room.
Right.
Most of it is people who have introductions. So we have clients who've come purely from a 4N introduction,
right.
Because that person has got to know me really, really well, and is happy to recommend me. So someone says, "Oh, we need an app," and say, "Oh, well, I've got just the person for you." And that's what it's about. It's just those connections.
And in terms of some of the big organisations that you've had connections with as a result of 4 networking?
Go on, name drop.
No, I'm not sure he's allowed to, because I know he did sign an NDA on one of them. So, but I know that one. But anyway, I can't talk about Mickey Mouse. Anyway, move on. Move on.
Listen, I mean, we are rapidly running out of time. I know you've travelled over 150 miles to be here for what is comparatively a short time. But as I said, you're on Business Connections live next Wednesday, live at 6 o'clock. We've got an hour of you. God help us all. But I tell you what, the thing that's exciting is that you came because you believe in the brand and the product so much.
Yeah.
We didn't want today to be a blatant sales promotion for 4 networking. That is what it's about. It's about education. It's about understanding what 4 networking can offer you as an organisation. If you are already not a lurker but a member and you are signed up, well, thank you very much for watching the particular program. We hope at the beginning of the show it gave you a bit of an insight into what 4 networking is all about, what it stands for, a little bit about the history as well, the exciting news as well about Jason now joining the team. Now, a lot of you will have actually met him over the last couple of years. He's been there lurking on the outside for a number of years, but now firmly entrenched as part of the leadership team of this ever-expanding, ever-growing organisation. A fantastic opportunity. If you're in now, as you are, if you're in on the ground floor now, you're about to watch the explosion of an organisation that's going to get bigger, more powerful, even more credible, that's going to give your business that edge. And we all need the edge in business at the moment. Just before we do allow Brad to do a bit of a wrap up, Richard, if you had to sum up the key benefits then for 4 networking, for Appware, for your business, for you, what would it be? Straight down camera number 4, which is that one there, by the way. So go on. Okay. What would it be?
Yeah, so there's a whole online side where you can connect with people. The fact that it's a national network. So, like I say, I'm been in Bristol, South Wales, all over the last couple of days. All these are meetings via 4 networking. And tomorrow I'm at Bridgewater. This morning I was at Bristol Cribs. Being able to do that is just fantastic because it gives me a national reputation. And even wearing silly things like this flat cap, people recognise me.
Can I ask you, are you bald under the flat cap? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. There you go.
Absolutely.
Let's end on the high.
Yeah. Is it compulsory that you've got to shave your
Oh, no,
head?
you stop that. Stop that.
All right, listen. Had you finished, by the way? I interrupted very rudely there.
Cool.
That was fantastic, and thank you so much for making the effort to be here today.
No problem.
I've asked you the key things. If there was one thing and you're at a bar and somebody said, should I join 4Networking? If you had to just answer them in one single sentence, what would it be?
Well, yes.
Yes.
Is the start. And what's not to like about meeting people, getting to know them, and then doing business.
Listen, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
Awesome.
Hopelessly overrun, but then I knew we would.
Yeah, that's all right.
But you know what? It's been wonderful. Yeah, it's been bumpy. We've enjoyed the ride.
Bumpy. Interesting about bumpy rides, Steve. For the last 9 years running 4Networking, I think it's fair to say it's been quite bumpy. Understand this, that when you're running a business, it is bumpy, because I think in your mind's eye you have this idea that you're going to start here and it's going to go on a lovely 45-degree angle to your success. What I found with 4Networking is this is how it went. Boom. That's what running a business is like. But you know what? You're still here now. We're sticking here. We're growing, as you can see. And we alluded to it before about, you know, me being in front of house with 4Networking and being the character there. I recognise that's how it is.
You're not stepping back, are you?
No, I'm not stepping back. Far from it. But what we've realised is the likes of Richard is here as a result of me and my books and the likes. So we're going to continue to do more of that. I think Jay primarily is going to be driving this entire organisation, but I'm not stepping back. Come on, I love this thing. But you know what? I've got a real passion for it. That's the other thing, Steve. I've got a real passion for this thing. I've got a real passion for 4Networking, and our whole MO is to make a positive difference, and we continue to do that 9 years on. And for the next 9 years, watch what we do. We're going to take this world over in a lovely, positive, benign way.
So there you have it, and that pretty much wraps up this very first 4Networking TV. It's been lovely to have your company. I hope you've learned a little bit about the organisation. Of course, you'll be able to watch this on the YouTube channel, and over a period of time, we're going to develop the 4Networking TV YouTube channel as well. So some great opportunities there as well to make certain, and maybe we'll be asking for you to contribute as well when it comes to the different content that we've got. So really, from all of us here today, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I think that's what's been really important about today. We've introduced some new people to you, but more importantly, you're getting to know the faces behind this ever-expanding, ever-growing company, 4Networking. From me, Steve Hunt, and Business Connections Live. From you,
Brad Burton.
And from you.
Thank you, Richard.
It's been great having your company over the last, I think around about
36 minutes, that'll do.
36 minutes, and the rest. Listen, until the next time, take care of yourself, and don't forget, successful work out there, and make that business of yours successful too. Till the next time, bye for now. Bye-bye.
Smile, be chat, join 4Networking. Smile, be chat, join 4Networking.